Did you hit the good one?
Yeah. I did. Hi, guys. Sorry, I'm a hot mess right now. Just letting you know.
Yeah, and I'm having a bad hair day. It's one of those times. Like, I can't believe it's already the end of May.
I can't believe it's the end of May either. Like, that just seems ridiculous that it is the end of May. And hold on, Cleo is yelling to get into the room. Oh. So while everybody jumps on.
Cleo wants to be part of book club.
She does. Come on. I know, I'm the worst, really.
Hey, Spark Planner Life. I finished the book this afternoon. Good.
Yay!
Hey.
Hello, Lisa.
Jana. Hello, everyone. Hey, Kim.
Yes, see, Cleo is in her now domain, so she's much happier.
Nice. Hey, Ellen. Lucky's here too, but he's in his little kitty tower power.
There you go.
Hey, Adrian. Hi, Sue. Lisa, I finished the book yesterday. Yeah, I mean, that's better because then, honestly, I had to read it twice.
Yeah, because it's fresh. I finished it a couple of days ago too.
Hi, Amber. Renee. Hey, Stacy. Actually, I read it 3 times, if you think about it, because I read it when I first got it on NetGalley.
Yeah.
Then I listened to the audiobook, and then I powered through it today to
I'm eager to hear what you thought about the audiobook versus the reading it regular.
Well, you know what was funny is you find out in chapter 30 out of 40 that the way to pronounce her name is Lila, not Lila.
Yes, I saw that.
The narrator says Lila the whole book. That's it. Even after that chapter, she keeps saying Lila.
Because after she said how to actually say her name in that chapter, I consciously made myself say it in my head as Lila and not Lila. Every single time I would read over her name and I'd go Lila in my head. And I'm like, no, it's Lila. And then I'd have to redo it over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, near do they either. Hi, Ivy. Impossible Creations. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so you guys want to put in what you thought 1 out of 5 in the comments, and then we can wrap up and summarize the book for you.
Yeah. And fun fact, I got some discussion questions from the author that we might throw around and that I answered for myself. It was actually kind of fun to answer those discussion questions that she had.
Yeah, those were actually very thoughtful, fun questions, not scholastic, I don't know, literary fiction questions.
Yeah, no, but I really, really enjoyed them. I thought that they were fun. I really wish that the discussion questions were in the back of the book. I think that would be really, really helpful. But when I asked her if she had any discussion questions, she was like, actually, I just now put together a document because a whole bunch of people are reading this book for their book club and have reached out and asked about it. And so I was super, super excited that she had it ready.
Cool. Do you want me to start with the summary? Or?
Yeah, you can go. You can get started.
So Lila she lives in Chicago. It was kind of confusing because she's 25, but she was going to school for hotel and administration, but she took some time off to work at a restaurant with her boyfriend. She wants to be a bakery chef, but she wasn't in bakery school. So it was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Anyways, he cheats on her. But before that, she gets arrested, and she has a record because he's buying cheap restaurant supplies that are illegal, and she signed the docket to receive those, but they had evidence that he had paid for those, but she still didn't dump him until she found him cheating on her with the neighbors. And then she came back home to her parents' house, or not her parents, sorry, her parents are passed away. She came back to her grandma and her aunt because their restaurant was failing.
Yes.
To help spruce that up. So she puts together a social media. She tries to put some new decorations up. It's a Filipino restaurant. And there's these 3 old ladies that come in that she calls her aunties, the calendar crew. It's April, May, and June.
Yes.
Very cute. And then, so it opens up. Mr. Long is their landlord. They're behind on their rent because they haven't been making money. he comes in with her ex-boyfriend, Derek, and he, I guess, is a food critic, which I didn't even think that was still a job, but
Yeah, right.
it was very confusing. And so his food criticisms are all negative all over town, and they seem to be ruining restaurants, which seems, I didn't know, like there's Yelp. So maybe this was written before Yelp. And so anyway, so he is diabetic and he's sweating profusely, and he like passes out in the food and he's dead. They call an ambulance. They determine that he's been poisoned. They think it might be arsenic. They find that in his system and on the plates. The grandma is like, you can just take whatever, or the aunt. And they're trying to work with the lawyer, but she just keeps saying, let's just give them everything. We have nothing to hide.
Yes.
Which kind of works against them. And then later she lets them, like, they get a warrant because they find the arsenic, and then they find drugs in Leela's locker that were planted there. Obviously, she ends up spending the night in jail. While she's there, she runs into the owner of the Japanese restaurant, who slaps her in the face when they get upset. But she doesn't press charges, and she decides to follow up with her later. She's like, well, we'll come by the restaurant and I'll give you a free meal. And she happened to know Derek, so she wants to know all about that and how that got smoothed over. There's so many things going on. And then in the meantime, she has her cousin Bernadette, who worked at the ER, and she was trying to get information out of her, but she doesn't really want to give her information. And for some reason, everyone's angry that she left the town, which doesn't really make sense because she went to college and got engaged, right?
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that culturally, I guess I don't necessarily get, because in my family, like you go off to college, you go and have your own life and things like that. It doesn't really seem until like I had Alex that my family and everybody were like, oh, now we want to see you all the time. And it's like, you don't really want to see me. You want to see Alex. But like that whole familial like bond is very, very strong in this book. Like you owe everything to your family, and everything you give must be to your family, kind of thing, is like what it felt like it was reading as.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, I'm from a small town, and well, obviously my whole family's white because I'm adopted, but we're that weird family where we don't let anyone watch anyone's kids unless they're family. So my entire family lives like very close to each other. So we only like hang out with each other.
Okay.
So I think that could be just some families are like, they all want to stay.
Yeah, they're all that tight and everything. But I don't know, I felt kind of bad for Leela whenever they kept making her feel bad for wanting to go off and do her own thing. But then as the book started going on, I kind of felt like maybe Leela was being kind of selfish in a way that she didn't really even ask about the things that were going on in the town, like with her best friend, and them wanting to like sort of start a business together and things like that. And like her best friend's, oh my goodness, what is her name?
Adina.
So Adina is like really, really sensitive when it comes to drugs and things like that. And it turns out it's because of her previous boss, who owned the cafe, died from a drug overdose, but she never told Leela this. And so it's just sort of like that's something that you would normally tell your best friend if you're talking to them like in an authentic way.
Yeah, it seemed to me like they had, and they didn't really say it. It sounded like it was out of sight, out of mind. Like when she went to Chicago, she just stopped talking to her and they lost touch. And it was only because she was in town that they were friends again.
Yeah, that's sort of how it seemed to me too. So we can continue with the synopsis.
So
there's a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot. So I took notes. So then you have Officer Marcus Marcello. I don't sound like the same name, but he is like a family friend and he helps him out. And when she's arrested, he like feeds some information he's not supposed to. And it just so happens, now this is kind of weird. So the sheriff or the detective is brothers with the dentist. So she goes over to Java Joe's, which is where Adina works. And he's like, Kevin, the owner's like, why don't you try one of my biscottis? And she's like, okay. And it like cracks her tooth. And so he sends her to the dentist down the street and he's like, don't worry, I'll cover the cost. The dentist happens to be hot, but also happens to be brothers with the detective working on the case, which was kind of weird.
But I liked the fact that the detective was not the love interest for this cozy, because it almost always is the detective is the love interest. Like, I was finally like, yes, finally, we have some love interests that aren't in the police realm. Like, I really, really liked that.
Yeah, it's like Murder, She Baked. They threw a detective in there.
Right?
Or a dentist. A dentist, not a
A dentist.
This time the dentist won, not the
Mm-hmm.
detective.
I agree. I
Plus,
agree.
the detective was way older, like not even dateable age, because the brother was the dentist was already 30 and she was 25.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah. So anyway, so they all meet up at this El Gato Negro at this Mexican restaurant, and then she starts grilling the waitress at the Mexican restaurant, who is the niece of her uncle and her aunt. She had the restaurant. Derek ruined it. They got thrown out of town. They got run out. This woman, Elena, her mom took over the lease for the restaurant, even though they really want to make soap and beauty products and candles.
It's again that familial tie that you don't let family down.
Yeah. And then, so she's like, I didn't know this would be so much work. But in the meantime, Elena and her best friend, Adina, are dating.
Yes.
Yeah. So you didn't really know that. And then, so I think the problem was it sounded like Adina just thought that, or it sounded like Leela thought Adina was going to come to Chicago because she was gay and it was more accepting there than it would be there in Shady Palms, or Shady Springs. However, it sounds like Adina was dating Elena, but didn't tell Leela.
No, I think that she met Alina for the first time when they went to the Mexican restaurant, and then they started flirting, and then they started dating.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then there's this whole thing with, okay, so then she tries to point, which I was kind of like, that doesn't seem very nice. She tries to point the blame over to Elena's family. And then Elena's like, that's not very cool of you.
Mm-hmm.
But then they make up, and then she's like, go ahead and go find the killer. You know, it's not my family. And then, so then there's this whole thing with the Japanese woman. So Sushiya has been cheating this whole time on her husband with Derek. And I guess they're secretly in love. Kevin, the Java Joe guy, knew about it. And then there was this other weird thing. So Janet, in the meantime, is like, hey, she calls her and she's like, I know something. And for some reason, Leela's like, yeah, I'm on my way out to dinner and then I have church tomorrow. So just meet me in the afternoon. Like, she's like, she's busy to meet. I'm like, why didn't you just be like, tell me right now?
Phone. Yeah.
So it's so weird that they had to meet for lunch to hear it. So then, of course, she gets stood up at lunch because Janet has been hit over the head or whatever in her office, and she passed out. And so it turns out that Janet, this was one of those things that it felt kind of like the last Julianne Lindsay book where there's this whole elaborate drug thing going on.
Yes.
Nobody really understood. And I could have never, ever guessed this because they were working, Janet and Kevin, no, not Janet, who's the victim? Janet and Derek were working undercover because what happened is when Kevin's sister died from an OD, they felt guilty. And then they went to the police and they decided to become informants and then help bring down the drug ring. And that's what got them killed, is because
and Derek was a part of the drug ring, but then was trying to go straight from that, but then ended up having to make money back from what he wasn't getting in drugs. So that's when he started writing the negative food reviews about all of the restaurants to try and get the health inspector to come in for an exorbitant amount of money and then to hire a special contractor. And so it was like drug industry mixed with like fraud, mixed with like trying to figure out the whodunit all at once as well.
It just seemed like a really elaborate way to make extra money. Like, why can't you just eBay some stuff? I don't know.
Right?
Start a blog.
Well, because that's the thing is like one of the questions that I really liked that Mia put in her discussion questions was which one was it? It says Derek did many terrible things, but before his death he was trying to atone for some of them. What are your thoughts on his character? And I didn't think anything that he was doing was atoning for anything.
He was like making it worse.
Like
one bad thing to another bad thing.
Yeah, I was like, I don't see how, like,
Mhm.
I understand, okay, he felt bad about what happened with the cafe owner and Kevin's sister. Like, I understand that. And so he became an informant, but then you're still going to go and do like illegal bad things,
Right.
like, and still make other people's lives miserable because you don't know how to be an adult.
Yeah.
Like,
Get
I
a
was,
job.
yeah, like I just didn't feel like he was my hair is a mess. I just really didn't feel like he was atonable in
Yeah,
my
I
mind.
totally agree. So let's just skip to the end. In chapter 40, this is like chapter 40 out of 42, you finally find out that he was poisoned with liquid nicotine. And
Yes.
obviously, Kevin, who just happens to be vaping at that very second, is the killer. Adina discovers it. She's screaming on the phone. Leela runs over to Java Joe's to try to save her. There's a fight. Kevin goes down. He's in a coma from her
Mhm.
attacking him. And then they find out that Janet now is fine. And they also find out that Mrs. Long's husband stabbed and killed her husband.
Yeah, Mrs. Long stabbed and killed her husband. And so like it was just it was a lot going on in one book.
Yeah.
But I really did enjoy it. Like I feel like I will get book number 2. Like
Yeah, for sure. But
I I loved one. I wanted Filipino food so bad this whole entire book. And I love that they gave you a glossary and pronunciation guide at the beginning of the book because a lot of that stuff, like I mean, that's not something that like automatically goes, oh, I know what that means.
mhm.
Um, I really, really, really enjoyed it a lot. And I'm so happy that that there are more diverse cozies that are coming out. Like it just makes my heart super happy.
Yeah. But let's just be clear. Janet should go to jail, and so
Yes.
should Mrs. Long. I don't know
Yes.
why she just let them go.
Yeah, so that was her last question. Was the ending with Mrs. Long, Derek's mom, isn't nice and neat. What are your feelings on this?
I feel like she purposely it was almost like she was being selfish. She let her go. She knew she was going to get the deed to the property so then they didn't have to pay a mortgage. So it's almost like she was just letting her commit murder so that she could have the restaurant and Java Joe's free and clear, which I still don't think she could get Java Joe's if the business was left to Kevin.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. So like I was super shocked by how grayscaled the ending was with Mrs. Long because normally in a cozy it's like black and white. Like
Mhm.
you're the bad person, you're going to jail, like this is what it is. But like life is in a variation of grays a lot of time. And this sort of almost brought more of a realistic view of like what could actually go on in life. I thought that was really, really, I don't know, like that's almost like blasphemy in a cozy in some
Mhm.
ways. But then I was also kind of like, I mean, they did abuse her. Long was a horrible person. And like in my head, I'm making all these justifications on why why Mrs. Long should be able to leave. But then
Well,
I'm like, you also killed a person.
yeah, I
Like,
think the problem was they went about it the wrong way. Like, I think if they had gone more of the, like, the bad guy with the heart of gold, like if she had accidentally killed him because he was about to kill somebody else or do something
yeah,
like that, like she was doing it for virtuous reasons rather than just like
be-
anger. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Just like leave,
yeah,
get a
yeah.
divorce.
But I don't know. I think now being a mom, if somebody had tried to kill Alex, no holds bars, man. No holds bars. I'm just saying. I love that little person more than anything. So I don't think that I could be. I think that's another thing. Since I've become a mom, I'm like, okay, normal Courtney would not agree with this. This would be 100% wrong. But now I'm like, well, I mean, if you look at it in this light. Okay, what about something a little bit more lighthearted? So Leela states that her dessert island food is crepes, while Adina's is waffles. What is your desert island food that you couldn't live without?
Oh, should we go through the stars?
Oh, yes.
4 from Amber, Stacy 5, Amber, I loved it, Jana 5, Lisa 3, Courtney 5, Ellen 5. I gave it 4 stars. I had digital, so I didn't see. Great question, 5 stars. I give it a 5. Question, yeah, yep. I can relate to her inability to choose a decent guy. How everyone didn't read the book, but hope to pick it up someday. No problem. Janet, Amber, there weren't any discussion questions in the paperback. I so didn't like Mr. Long. Lisa, 4 stars. Oh, thanks, Jana. I loved all the different cultures in this book. Yeah, so the dentist and his brother were half Korean. So that was nice. Like not everybody was just homogeneously Filipino. So I like that.
Yeah. Well, and Adina was Muslim.
Yep. And the obviously El Gato Negro, they were I don't know if they said what they were. I'm guessing Mexican.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And then the Japanese.
Yep.
Yeah. It was I loved it.
Courtney, I love your earrings.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, your hair was hiding them.
Yes.
Yes, the family was very strong. My husband's family's very close like this also. My family isn't that close, but my husband is Hispanic and they're super close. I don't like the trope where they're treated like a traitor for leaving a small town. Yeah, it's a bad one. I felt some small pieces were a little disjointed. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. Adrian, that was what made me crazy about Leela. She was very caught up in her own drama and missed the cues from her. Yeah, she was very much into her own self.
Very much so.
Me too. I felt like the family would have kept her up to date on everything while she was away. I mean, maybe she didn't ask, right? Like, because she was so into herself. It seemed like the author was trying to say, like, she called home and just talked about herself.
Yeah, I got that vibe too.
John. Okay. Lisa, I felt some elements in the story were a little disjointed. Lynette, hi. Tracy, hi. Jana, I like the dentist. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Jay a lot.
Yeah. Adrian, small town trope. Everyone is related to someone. Yep. I like the dentist. Courtney, Amber, I like the dentist too. Amber, yes. Lisa, I agree. There was some choppiness. I feel that some elements are a little disjointed. I don't know why that keeps coming up. Okay. Janet, that was a twist. The undercover stuff.
Very much so. I did not see that coming.
Not a good one. Like I feel like I couldn't have like guessed that in any way. Courtney definitely didn't guess that. Yeah. I was wondering if anyone else felt that. Oh, Janet was a bit heavy for a cozy. Yeah, there were drugs. There was cursing. They called each other witch, like
Bruja.
And they said like Spanish curse words. And like, I don't know. I was just kind of like, I'm like a small child. Whenever someone says a curse word in a cozy, I'm like,
right? Yeah. There was a lot of like, this is kind of naughty, kind of in a way, in a cozy.
eBay. Yeah, I could have done eBay. Yeah, Janet was heavier. Yes, Trisha is so funny. I agree, felt the same. Derek was not redeemable. I'm sorry, I'm late. Love this book. Awesome. Courtney, the moment they said nicotine, I knew it was Kevin, but other than that, I didn't guess it was him. Yes, I agree, Courtney. Yeah, I think that's why they waited until chapter 40. Also, I found it random that Kevin was revealed as the culprit because of the liquid. Yeah, he didn't really have any emotional tie before that at all. He was just this.
Yeah, he was just the guy. Yeah.
I figured it was Kevin at the dinner. I love this book so much. I already have book 2 on pre-order. Cool. Amber. Lynette. Kevin was on my suspect list somewhere in the middle. Courtney, I agree with you on the diversity and other people's point of view when dealing with authorities. Hi. Yes, I didn't figure Kevin until the nicotine too. Yeah. Courtney, yes, it's more real people get away with murder. Janet, everyone definitely had motive, so I think that's why I found it hard to guess it was him. Lynette, that was wrong. Mrs. Long should have turned him in. Should have been turned in. Yeah, she would have been cleared due to self-defense. He did, according to Mrs. Long, come at her. Yeah, so like this random like woman's just going to go on the run with no money at all because she gave away her only property. That was
pretty much.
Nasty on both of those. 5. Cheesecake. Oh, the desserts. We asked everyone your island food.
Your island food.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Ooh.
Spaghetti. Bread on
mine's strawberry toast.
Oh, strawberry toast?
I eat it every single morning for breakfast.
Wow, that is commitment. Is there anything else on there Butter, cream cheese.
It's margarine and strawberry toast.
Oh,
that's
nice.
it.
Courtney Snickerdoodle. Yeah, I gotta read it too. Wings. 4 stars and easy to please. When Kevin said he was looking for his parents, I thought that was shady. It's so small, everyone would have known them. Yeah.
You're very right.
Yes, all the cultural diverseness was amazing. Yes. Negro means black in Spanish. Yep. Wasn't her best friend African American?
Oh, Terrence. Yes, he was.
Yeah. What did Terrence do? I feel like she calls him her ex-lover, which I always find that weird. I would never call anybody I dated an ex-lover, especially from high school.
Yeah, no.
That was kind of odd. Yes, Aaron. Thanks, Adrian. Chocolate chip cookies. Yum. Hi, ladies. Hey, Trish. Amber, I'm always thrown off when a cozy has curse. I know, like, why? Was it disguising itself as a cozy?
Well, she did mention that it was sort of rom-com meets cozy, is like sort of like what it said in here.
But at least there was a mystery. When I read Dial A for Aunties, like there was just straight up sex and tons of cursing. So Stephanie, the author herself, says it's a cozy in her author's note in the beginning. Oh, yeah. All right then. I'm not sure my food. Okay. Coconut cream pie, dark chocolate. I know it's the pressure to pick just one thing.
Just one thing.
Lisa's being healthy. She's doing dark chocolate. Trisha, curry.
I love curry.
Ivy Strong, didn't hear dessert, cupcakes. My other island food would be Italian food, like any Italian food. Yeah, I would do like pasta and cheese. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Seemed real. I agree. Awesome. Those are all our comments.
Fantastic. Let's see. So I love the question. Does it says, for the Macapalga family and many immigrant families, a plate of food is not just a plate of food. It symbolizes so much more. What does food mean to you and your family? Like, I don't know if it's because I'm in the Midwest, but like my family doesn't really have like a huge like food. Here it is. It's more like, oh, I have to cook something crap. I think I'm going to do grilled chicken and green beans and some mashed potatoes. Like that's kind of for me. Like, does your family have like sort of like a...
No, mine's the same. They're a very traditional American, like, get together for holidays, birthdays, any other major celebration. There'll be a ton of food because there's like a million relatives, but there's no like, it's no special meeting or no one has a special recipe. You know what I mean? We all
and I really, really wish that like I did. Like I wish my family was that cool. Like, not that my family's not cool. I love you guys if you watch, but like, I don't know. I wish that I had a lot of friends that were Muslim, and that my first boyfriend was half Peruvian, half El Salvadorian, and like his family's food was to die for. Like it was amazing, and like you could taste the culture and the love in the food. Whereas like, and like even in the South, like in Georgia or something, like they've got like their soul food and stuff. But I'm over here in Oklahoma with like, I got some grilled chicken.
I'm the same because I grew up in a small Midwestern town. So once I got out, I was like, thank God I'm in New York and Chicago and LA where I can eat like
Indian. I love all like Japanese food.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. When I was in Japan for 2 weeks, I was in heaven. It was fantastic.
That's so funny. I lost 20 pounds in Japan because I just couldn't eat anything.
See, I was all like, I'm like, give me all the ramen. Let's get, there was just Coco Ichibanya curry. So good.
Nisa. Oh, the name of the pet, the dog, Nisa. Food is just food. Yeah, sometimes food is just food. Yeah, I think plus like our families, your camp family, I'm sure, Cordy, we don't own restaurants. No one aspires to own a baker or restaurant. I think if that was the case, if we had like a baker in the family, maybe food would be different.
I think so too. I wish that I like cooking and like I like throwing things together. Like one of her other questions was like, is there like a family recipe? The only family recipe that I have that is like 100% my own family recipe is called the Dorito dish. So I grew up with not a lot of money. And so my mom would throw together what was called the Dorito dish. And it was chicken, diced chilies, all cooked together. Then you have like, she used to do nacho soup, like Campbell's nacho soup, but I do like Tostitos, like queso with sour cream. And then I put the chicken in there. And then I do like a layer of Doritos and then chicken and cheese. Is that healthy in any way, shape, or form? No, not at all. But that's as close to a family recipe as I have.
That's more than we have. So go Courtney family. Amber, I'm on the East Coast and it's the same agent. She mentioned someone in the book who has their last name. Do you think that someone's related? I have no idea. Ellen, Sunday dinners at my grandmom's. My in-laws are all about food. My family has traditional foods for each holiday. My mother-in-law is Thai. There is rice at every meal. Her egg rolls are to die for. Lynette, food in my family is love and expression of love. It's rude not to at least take a bite. I feel like that's pretty much every family. It's rude, like when you're a guest, not to eat something, even if it's like scary. Janet, depends. My mom genuinely loves cooking and feeding her family, but she also comes from a family similar to Leela's. As a mom myself, I just try to feed my kids whatever they'll eat.
Yes.
Me too, Lisa. I can't eat seafood. Pineapple. Okay. Adrian, I noticed that. Wondered that too. That sounds good. All right. So it looks like this was an overall very successful book for book club. I'm super, super glad that it was chosen. And how nice was that it just happens to be Asian Heritage Month. And it was an Asian book just on accident. It was perfect. It was serendipitous. Should we announce the next book and she's a winner? Yes. Do you want to look that up? Hey, Google, give me a number between 1 and 30.
Here's a random number, 13.
All right. While she's counting, the book club book for June is Lending a Paw. It is a bookmobile cat mystery series by Lori Cass. And so you can go and get that. I'm putting it in the notes right now. Oh my goodness, I can't type today. Ellen Morgan, congratulations. You have won a Seaside Cozy Mystery. Are you in the US though? Because it was a publisher stipulation that the winner has to be in the US. So hopefully you're in the US. Yes, Ellen, congratulations. Right there, Ellen. Ellen. Yay! Oh, yay! Okay, Ellen. I put my email in the it's just lisa@lisaseifert.com. Send me your mailing address. And also, I tell people this, don't worry, I won't call you, but send me your phone number because they like to put that down too on the tracking. Yes. But I think that's it for today's book club. Thank you guys so much for coming and talking with us and joining in on talking about Arsenic and Adobo. Mm-hmm. But we will see you next week or next week. Yeah. Goodness. Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks if you want to come for the Para Cozy Book Club. Yes. See you 2 weeks after that. Yeah. Go make sure to go check out the Para Book Club. It's absolutely fantastic. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, guys. Good night.